game development. My game development journey began with none other than Nintendo. The GameCube was the first game console I ever owned, and I loved it. Games like Super Mario Sunshine, The Wind Waker, Luigi's Mansion, and my personal favourite, the Pikmin franchise, are what really started my passion for video games, and these games I'll still replay to this day. However, I've always been curious as well. I love to learn how things work, the inner mechanics of something, and so this naturally carried over into video games. As I got older, I found myself more and more interested in computers and game development. It was a crazy thought for me, how these games that I loved so much were designed and created. I knew that I wanted to give it a shot, but I had no idea how. I first found Scratch when I used to go to a coding club in school. Yeah, I was that kid. But I instantly loved it. The drag and drop interface was just so easy to pick up and get going with, and I didn't need to spend any time learning what I saw as an entirely new language. I made a few games using Scratch, so I thought it'd be pretty funny to go through them all again. Of course with live commentary, because, well, that's where the fun is, right? Yeah, this is oh god, oh that's loud. Anyway, this is Five Nights at Billy's. No prizes for whoever guesses what this was inspired by. It actually began as Five Nights at Elmo's. You know, I was going through a phase. Functions. We're on 1 AM already. That's Billy, by the way. I mean, it works about how you can see the camera moving in the gaps. That's always good. God, Jesus. Okay. What was I doing when I made this? Oh, nice. We're going to need to shut them out. Crap. Okay. Now I believe we might just be able to keep the door shut for the entire time. I don't know. I think I can do it. This is also probably copyright. Absolute masterclass. That's what this is. But yeah, anyway, on to the next game, I guess. Okay. It'll become very obvious what I put my effort into when making this. Let's just jump straight into Project Survivor. That's a fake loading screen. It's got a timer for like 3 seconds or something. And here we go. So, I may or may not have spent, I don't know, a week or two maybe, just on this first cutscene. Boom. I believe we have another fake loading screen. There it is. And this is it. This is it. There's nothing more than this. So on to the next one. Okay, so this one I like. There is settings, option which you can turn down the graphics quality all the way. I don't know why you do this, other than, you know, just wanting to punish yourself. Something you'll come to learn. I like cutscenes, except this cutscene is special because it's got a little black bar. If anyone would like to, I don't know, decipher this cutscene, what it means, that would be cool. Of all things, gee, that's really loud. You can move this around, and if anyone's used Scratch before, they'll know how stupidly difficult it is to make a moving camera. So we've got objectives. E picks stuff up. That's We've got an inventory or our backpack. To show you that we've got rope. Now we've got rope. Blood everywhere. You know, who cares? Who cares? Because we can press W. I mean, this is a big like ceiling end. Like, this is tall. I don't know who built this. Elevator time. There we go. Ah, quick time event. Spam our E. And we press Q and he's dead. Look at that. Whoa, there's a zombie. Bow. 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 And he's dead. We just keep going. We can escape now. This is it. There's there's nothing else. So yeah, that's that game. On to the next one. Well, I call it a game. It's not. It is, however, a showcase of my musical ability and the latest entry into the Souls type franchise, Lost Souls. Hey, we've got our cutscene again, funny enough. And here we have Lost Souls gameplay. This is it. The rain is the same code I used in Till the Storm Passes, that's the one. You may also notice why I added the black borders around the previous games, because Scratch doesn't like it when things go off screen. That's all the Scratch project. So back to the video, I guess. Scratch really helped me just to get used to the logic behind games. What an if statement meant, how to make use of variables, general game logic, and other things. However, naturally, I wanted more. That's probably the reason that my latest Scratch projects were less, well, complete. I kept dreaming bigger and bigger, and that game development itch just wasn't being scratched. Pun intended. Python was, well, definitely not designed for developing video games. I started with small text-based games to get used to the language. Then, eventually I found Pygame, an extension for Python that allowed for graphical games. Using this, I created what is officially the only game I have ever finished. Sort of. So, my one and only Python game. The game is called Squares. So yeah, this basically is Snake, but you don't grow when you pick stuff up. The enemies, things are randomized every time, and yeah, you just gotta keep collecting squares, funnily enough. I don't know what my highest score is for this. I died. Let's try that again, What was my score? 12, was it? See if I can beat that. Ooh. There we go. That was close. That was also close. On 10, 11. I think that's a high score now. Yes, is it? I don't know. I'm dead. Yeah, no, that's squares. Yeah, Python didn't last very long. It was great for just picking up coding, but much like Scratch, it really was limited in its ability to do, well, anything. And this is where we have our third and final player. The piece of software that I've stuck with since I found it years ago. Finally, a real game engine. Although we've reached this point, our journey is far from over. Many a failed project has been made using GameMaker. So, why don't we look at them now? The first thing I ever made using GameMaker followed a tutorial by Heartbeast, whose channel will be linked in the description. Following this tutorial, I learned the basics of GameMaker, how to move a player object, enemies, rooms and levels, gamepad input, and other things. Using what I learned, I started work on my first GameMaker project. We're Doomed. Being obviously inspired by the likes of The Legend of Zelda and Skyrim, I loved We're Doomed. This was, at the time, my dream game. An open world RPG with lots of combat, dungeon crawling, NPCs, shops, quests, the whole shebang. I won't lie, I worked really hard on this project, devoting all of my free time into development. I think I worked on it for about a year, maybe a little more than that, before I stopped. This was very much the project I used to properly learn GameMaker, and so naturally it was pretty badly optimized. I found that the more things I put into the game, the more problems that would show up, and this was really unmotivating for a young me. So I put the game on the side and stopped working on it. some time passed where I didn't work on video games, and instead developed my musical ability. I started composing a lot more, and also got pretty good on the piano, which you should be seeing in the background now. This was a time that allowed me to just develop in other aspects of life. Hobbies like music or art, which would inevitably end up coming back to the game development anyway, as they both play huge roles in video games. But, like I said, I couldn't stay away from game development. And with my newly acquired ability in both music and art, well, I decided to give it another go. So, I lost interest in this project too. And a couple of others. I mean, this one didn't even work. So, what do I do? What do I do? Do I A, give up on game development and touch some grass? Or B, give up on game development and get a girlfriend? Or perhaps C, give up on game development and focus on school? Or is it D, start another project? Of course, the answer is D. If you guessed A, B or C, do you even know indie devs? And as you should know if you've watched my previous videos, that project is none other than Mow Down, the current multiplayer deathmatch shooter and the future zombie shoot 'em up. I have lots of plans for this game, but I've learned from my mistakes. All of the past projects have taught me that it's good to dream big, but a solid plan is invaluable. I keep a to-do list, which, whilst it is obviously growing by the day, is split into small, manageable goals that I can keep to. I cannot describe how much this has helped me to stay motivated when working on the game, and I'd highly advise anyone who also wants to get into game dev to just sit down and set out a solid plan for what they want to accomplish. But anyway, that about wraps this up. Much like any other indie dev, I've been through a hell of a journey, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. Make sure you stay tuned for the next Mow Down devlog by hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications. Anyway, I'll see you next time.